Hey gang. Oh, we both went live at the same time. How are we doing, lovely bosses? Hey, hey, hey. Hope you're all good. I'm coming at you from very cozy corner. It's Taylor Swift hoodie day. The weather's absolutely miserable. I want some sunshine. I'll be in some sunshine at the end of next week, but for the time being, very misty, not great. And I hope it's a little bit better where you guys are. So I am talking today to my yes people. Where are my yes people at who are so booked, so busy, so overworked, and so done with it? Stick around because I'm talking to you guys. So this is for you if you keep saying yes, especially when it comes to your long time regulars. So like your bread and butter clients, your rockstar clients, those clients who've just been around since day dot, right? And this is also for you if you have kept everything in your business the same, even if you don't really want to have it a particular way, because it's what your clients have come to expect. So what I mean by that is things like your service menu just hasn't changed, your opening hours have not changed, your packages have not changed, your prices have not changed. And there's probably a bunch of other things that I haven't even thought of. So it's where you're keeping your business the same to sort of meet the needs of your existing clients, because you just think they prop me up, they've kept me in business, like I can't change, right? And I want to give you an example that I always think of, which is the guy who does my MOT. I'd love if he ever saw this, because he'd be like, why do you keep talking about me? Like, I don't know his name. He doesn't know my name. He literally knows my car, and that's it, right? So, and I think he only knows my car because I used to drive like a Japanese imported camper van, so it was quite unusual. And I think if I'd driven a really normal car, he probably wouldn't have even remembered me full stop. So I'll tell you why I'm talking about my MOT guy. I have gone to the same guy for my MOT since I passed my driving test. And I passed my driving test when I was 20, and I've just literally turned 35 on Sunday. So I've gone to the same guy for my MOT for 15 years. I don't live anywhere near this guy anymore. So about 2.5 years ago, I moved away. I moved up to the coast. I'm like another like 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from this guy. And I still go to him. I know nothing about him. I literally don't know his name. I don't know how old he is. I don't know if he has kids or a partner. I know his job. He's a mechanic. That's about as far as our interactions and relationships go. I don't know his hobbies. I don't know his deepest desires and dreams and aspirations or anything like that. And all of this is to say, a client, a customer, I still pay him. I still go to him every single year. If something happens to my car, I still take it to him because I am loyal to him, right? I am loyal to him and his business. And I'm still loyal, even though I moved away, even though I don't have this like depth of relationship that we have with our clients behind the chair. Does this make sense? So when I moved away, and I say this because I think it's really important to compare the way we do business to the way that other businesses do business. Because I think in the hair and beauty world, we exist in this quite unusual little bubble of we don't really do business like most of the businesses do it. So that's why I think, right, who can I liken this to, or what example can I give? That's why I talk about the guy who does my MOT. So when I moved away, I didn't look for someone nearer to me. I have never looked for someone cheaper than him. I think that in our industry, in the hair and beauty industry, we have this unique situation where we have a lot of depth in the relationship with our clients. Some of you might have gone to like their weddings, met their kids. We know so much about our clients. We've been through thick and thin. We've been through the jobs, the job losses, the kids, the divorces, the marriages, the bereavements, the grief, and all the rest of it. And this just doesn't really exist in any other kind of business as well. So it's dead unique to us. And I think because of this closeness, because of this kind of depth and this bond that we build with them, it can start to feel quite reciprocal. So like like I do one thing, you do something in return. So it's like this feeling of having to owe someone something back. And I want to give an example just to illustrate this point. Have you ever been given either a Christmas card from someone that you weren't expecting? And when they've given it you haven't been like, oh yeah, that's really nice. You're like, oh God, I haven't got them a card. Or have you been invited to like a birthday or a wedding? And then you've thought, oh God, I have to invite this person to mine because they invited me to theirs. Like humans, and I think especially British people, we are so reciprocal. Like we hate this idea of almost like someone having something they can hold over us, or like having one up on us. It's like we've got this mental scoreboard of like, they did this for me, I have to do this for them, and vice versa. So we often see our clients' loyalty or them choosing us as something that we owe them something back in return for, right? And I think this is what can really lead so many of us to saying yes all of the time, even when deep down you'd rather say no. And I'm having some conversations with people at the moment where they're saying that like their client stood in front of them and like internally they're screaming like, no, 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 do not let them book in, say no, say you're busy, say you can't do it, offer them any other date. Yet the word that comes out of the mouth is, yeah, absolutely fine, I'll see you on the 20th. Because it's hard. I get it. It's really hard because we feel like this person's propped our business up. This person's been with us for years. They've supported us. They've recommended us. So we feel like they've got all of these little tallies on their scoreboard. We can't. We'd be such a dick, wouldn't we? That's how it feels to say something. To say no. And I think this is where we build up this real feeling of guilt when you feel like indebted to someone. This is especially true for those of us who were raised feeling guilty all the time. Hello. If anyone can relate, for those of us who went to Catholic school, hello, or had that sort of family upbringing, or anything else like that, where we eat, slept, and drank guilt. So it just is a very natural first feeling for us, where we just feel like I feel sorry for this person, or I'm letting this person down, or I would always say, until I've had therapy like 2.5, 3 years, and I'd always say, I feel bad. I feel bad for this person. I feel bad because of this. And it's like, no, I'm not bad. I'm not a bad person. And I invite you to, have that same self-consideration. And it also makes doing things that are very normal activities when it comes to running a business feel really difficult. So things that should just be a very, very normal part of business and are for other businesses, things like price increases, things like asking for deposits, charging for no-shows, charging for late cancellations, trying to drop particular services because they no longer suit the business. So for you guys, that might be you don't want to do, like a hairdresser might not want to do dry trims or kids cuts anymore. There might be particular types of colour work that you don't want to do. You might not want to do mobile services anymore. I was having a conversation with someone in my big group where I could tell this feeling was absolutely huge for her. Of she had these clients, I don't think they could physically or easily get to her. She knew money was tight, yet she was charging two completely different prices. She was charging her mobile clients much, much lower, even though it actually cost her more to deliver those services because she was out of the salon. And she said, like, I don't know what else I can do. I feel bad because, what else can they do? They need me. I don't know if there's anyone else. And if they didn't come to me, who would they go to? It's like literally keeps us up at night. And then it can feel like a punishment, like we're punishing our clients by doing these things, like punishing our good regulars for, by increasing our prices, by starting to take deposits, charging for no-shows, all of that kind of stuff. And especially when you're thinking of your good clients, your loyal clients, your ride or die clients, your rockstar clients, and especially when they've been with you for years, or they've done something like followed you to a new location, or maybe they came back to you, supported you through the lockdown. So I saw so much of an increase in guilt towards from the clients who came back to you after the lockdowns, or it continued to, I don't know, who offered to pay you a deposit or who bought gift vouchers, who did these sorts of acts of loyalty or active support. Maybe you were off sick for a period, maybe you were on parental leave, maternity leave, and you came back, and these clients came back to you, they waited for you, or they went elsewhere, came back. And again, there's this okay, that's a hell of a score up on the board. I am totally indebted to this person because they didn't have to do that. That was huge of them to do this. And it starts to feel really transactional, like they did ABC for you, so you owe them XYZ. And I want to be really, really clear on this. What you owe them is the service that you deliver, the service that they pay for, right? That's the transaction. And also, can we just empower our clients as well? Because they are grown-ass adults and they can make informed decisions, and they can also make the best choice for them, as you can all make the best choice for yourself as well as a grown-ass adult. So they are fully capable of seeing what you offer, the price that you offer it at, alongside the terms that you set out around that particular service. And they can also see the consequences that you have outlined and clearly described if they do not uphold these terms. And they are perfectly capable of understanding and agreeing to those, of booking in and of paying for you. And that is the transaction. They pay you, you do the service, and that is it. You do not owe them anything more, but they also don't owe you anything more in return. You do not own them. They do not own you. And this is how I think we really need to start thinking about the work that we do. And it is not being cold. It's not being robotic. It's not being unemotional or kind of weird or nasty or mean or anything like that, or anything negative. You can absolutely care for your clients and really give a shit about your clients. You can take care of them, their hair, their skin, their nails, whatever it is that you actually do for your clients. And so it's and, not or, and you can make the best logical decisions that are in the best interests of your business. I see so many people like emotionally entangled and intertwined with their business and with their clients. It's like you're responsible for your clients, or there's this feeling of awkwardness, or this idea that you're punishing them for literally running a business, just doing simple things that would any other business would need to do, right? I have a program called Breakthrough. It's designed to help people, fully booked people behind the chair, to drop a day per week without sacrificing profits. And we do so much work in there on this particular concept. So, not feeling guilty, being able to stand in our boundaries and kind of stand firm, right? From making decisions rooted in emotion. So these are the reactive, knee-jerk, gut wrench, like, I'm just going to do this, really, really based in a feeling and an emotion. And they come from a place of fear, they come from a place of scarcity, they come from a place of people pleasing. And what we do is we work to shift from that into this place of logic. And what I teach in there is the 3 W's. So we do a win-win-win. And it's a win for you, it's a win for the business, and it's a win for your clients. I don't believe in either ors. I believe in, how do we get all of this, right? How do we meet in the middle in this Venn diagram, bang in the middle of those 3 things? Because at the moment, it's pretty much you losing, your business is losing, and your clients are winning. And it doesn't have to be like that, right? No one should be at a loss because someone else is at a gain. There's enough. We can do it so it works for everyone, okay? It is not easy work. I'm not going to BS here. But it is the most worthwhile work, I think, that anyone can do in the business. And what I see often, time and time again, is that it ripples out, because it's an actual shift in your identity. Like, you're shifting out of being this self-abandoning, overwhelmed, people-pleasing, yes, miss, yes, sir, yes, I'll do this. And you're becoming literally a different person. So it's very worthwhile, but it is not easy work. But what I see is that when we do this, it spills out to everywhere else. So people very often will say, I came for the business stuff, but I've left with like a new identity. How I show up in my family is different, in my partnership, with my kids, with my friends, like a complete shift, right? Because it requires you to actually become a different person. And that's the hard bit, but it's still worth doing, because we're really shifting our way of thinking and behaving and being, and of decision making without being ruled by emotions like guilt or fear. And instead, we're making decisions from a place of competence, of confidence, and of clarity. The strategy part is actually the easiest part. The hardest part is standing firm in these boundaries and firm in these decisions without reverting back to your old ways. Because that's where I see people go wrong when they try and do it on their own. They'll do like a very reactive, I'm just going to drop a day, or I'm just going to, stop doing these services. But when a client is standing in front of them asking for it, it feels nigh on impossible to say no. Yeah, so we go back to square one, because it's very, very, very difficult to do this work on your own. And what's really cool, what I love to see, is that by becoming less available and being more particular with the type of work you do and the hours that you work, being firmer in your boundaries, being clearer on your communication, and being much more specific with the people that you work with, i.e. what I call your rockstar clients, the more your rockstar clients actually desire to work with you. Think about the most desirable things, right? So think about, obviously we've got Glastonbury coming up. I was lucky enough to go to Glastonbury a few years ago, and it was Glastonbury 50. So I don't know if you remember, but it got postponed because it was going to fall in the pandemic. So I'd registered like ages before, got my tickets. Then they'd released the set list, and I'm gutted because Taylor Swift was on it. But when they redid it, she wasn't. I'm very heartbroken about that. But anyway, and so having to wait made it feel even more special, because so few people were getting to go. Like a whole other round of people didn't get to go, and it honestly felt like getting a golden ticket. I remember being sat vividly when I registered. My husband Aidan was at home. I was in a hotel. I actually think it was Salon International. And I was sat, and I had my laptop, I had my iPad, I had my phone, I had my friend's phone, and I was frantic trying to get them. But it was so important to me, and I had the absolute best time ever, because I was like, so few people are able to do this. Like, I was so grateful to be one of the few people who was able to experience that. exactly the same when I finally did get to see Taylor Swift, and I was gushing about this yesterday in Elevate, because it's such a hard ticket to get, like it was so hard to get. We went at like 3 in the afternoon. We just took everything in, and I felt so, so grateful. We see the same with anything that's like limited edition, like designer, like super exclusive. When you make yourself harder to get hold of, it actually makes people appreciate being in your world even more. Okay, and the exact same can be true in your business as well. We don't want to be available 24/7. We don't want to be accessible. We don't want to be like, oh, I can get Maddi at the drop of a hat, or oh yeah, Maddi will just drop everything and come and do my hair on a Sunday night or Christmas Day or whatever. It actually makes us less desirable as a business in the minds of our clients. There's so much about, I guess, the psychology of this from the client's perspective. So it really increases the value when you are firmer and you are more confident and you do say, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to double down on this instead. This is what I really love to do. So if you're available all the time, if the answer to all of their questions is yes, I can do this, if you're squeezing in people when they need you, not when you actually have the time, if you reply to messages at all hours of the week and the day, if you're letting people faff about with your appointments or mess you about with no consequence, it devalues what you do in the perception of your clients, right? And with boundaries, something that's really important to think about is when you say yes to something, you say no to something else. So there is only one of you. Sadly, until we get really good at cloning, there's only one of you, and time is a finite resource, right? It's non-renewable. You don't get any more time once it's gone. We get 24 hours, and once the clock hits midnight, that's it. You will never get a chance to live this day again. You will never get a chance to live this minute. On that note, I'm very grateful that you're giving me your time because I appreciate just how precious it is. So when you say yes to your regular because you feel like you owe them something, or that they'll leave if you say no, I want you to think, what am I saying no to? Because every day you could be doing, multiple numbers of things, right? So you're actively choosing where you're going to spend that time and that energy. So yes, you might be making money from that client, but trust me, you have paid a price by saying yes to that person, especially when it's something that you don't actually want to do, or like a time that you don't want to work, or a service that you don't want to do. And that price that you're actually paying is oftentimes more than what they've paid you, like in monetary terms. So you will be paying the price physically. Your back's aching, your wrist's aching, your shoulders are absolutely knackered. Your body is screaming at you saying, why did you take that extra appointment? Were 8 hours not enough for you, or did you need to work 11? And your body will be absolutely screaming at you in night time. You've missed your lunch again. Maybe you've forgotten what lunch actually is. You're paying the price emotionally because you're going home feeling resentful that a client was willing to have you stay back so late to fit them in, or you're feeling pissed off because you've been put in this awkward position of becoming an unpaid debt collector yet again because a person didn't have their card, or a person didn't pay a deposit, or a person no-showed, and now you're going to have to chase them, right? You pay the price in your relationships often when you miss out yet another birthday, kids' milestones, girls' weekend, hen do's, stag do's, weddings, whatever. Or your partner's pissed off because you've already been out the house 11 hours a day, and then you come in and you sat on your phone. And you know that you're working, I know that you're working, but I also appreciate that from their side, it looks like, what the hell, you've been out all this time and you're still not present with me. And it's because you're doing more bloody work with clients. You've got even more people to deal with when you've got home, doing social media, doing messages, doing admin, that kind of thing. You're paying the price financially. Yes, you're making money from that specific service, but you're not giving yourself the time to do other things, other revenue generating activities, or more highly leveraged activities that will make you more money down the line. So things like that automation that you've been meaning to set up, getting around to that next price increase, creating a marketing plan, scheduling your social media posts, working on that new side hustle or opportunity that will finally scale your income, but you've just not got the time to do it. That class that you bought and you never got around to because you've not got the time. That membership that you joined and you've never even looked at because you don't have the time, right? All of these things, there is a cost, okay, to allowing yourself to be so busy and saying yes to clients. The price you pay in delaying getting into something like education, coaching, launching a product line, whatever that next step thing is for you to really kind of scale your income up. Sarah, I'm glad it's resonating with you. You know me, I love a little soapbox on a Wednesday. And you pay the price when you delay taking another holiday, spending time with your family and friends, and those small moments that are so meaningful. and the major events in their life as well. And also, the rockstar clients are the ones, by the way, who see you overworking, and they're the ones who keep telling you to take a break. So if you have any clients now saying, mate, I think you need a holiday, or when was the last time you had some time off, are the ones who, my lovely friend LJ had a client bring in a Starbucks and Monster Munch for her. Those are all quite a big indicator that like your rockstar clients even see this for themselves. Because rockstar clients inherently are great clients. Like, they don't want you to be burnt out. They don't want you to be absolutely knackered, right? And they will be your biggest supporters. Trust me, when you go into your next thing. I thought my clients would be, my clients were sad when I stopped doing hair. But even now, I have clients who follow me, my hair clients on Bossy Salon, and they message me, shout out to you. And they're like, I love what you're doing. I love the sound of this calculator. Like, I saw you post on this. So great clients will still be great, even if you're not doing the hair, or nails or anything later down the line. And for an example, a bunch of our breakthrough students, alumni, have gone on to launch their scalable project. So one of them educates for a brand and assists on shoots. Another one coaches nail techs on how to book photo shoots. Another one holds healing workshops and cacao ceremonies. Another one helps people who are leaving college to get ready for the salon floor. Another one of them launched her Vivid Education. And this is all since they did breakthrough, right? Because before that, they just never, ever had the time to work on these things. And then there's the non-business stuff that they're finally able to do since they've freed up more time without sacrificing any profit. So one of them bought a first home. Another one joined a luxury health club and is feeling better than ever, showing up 110% for her clients, right? And in her life and in a business. So saying yes to these clients is saying no to much more than you might think. I'm in love with your wallpaper. I always get a comment on the wallpaper. It's from a company called Lust Home in the UK. They do lots and lots of jazzy wallpaper. So it becomes this, I can't speak today. It becomes this perpetual cycle. And then you feel even worse because you're like, oh, I'm also now missing out on these opportunities. And it's a bit like you're seeing everyone else progressing, everyone else taking these steps or these like big leaps forward. Other people are getting to do this next level, but for you, it just feels like Groundhog Day. It just feels like you're stuck on that treadmill or that hamster wheel. So think about this next time you're saying yes to someone, when deep down in here, you want to say no. I want you to think, what am I saying no to? What am I missing out on? What am I delaying? And what opportunities am I going to lose out to someone else? Because if you don't do something, someone else will do that. Okay. So I'm not like a hustle culture person, but if I know how many people have this like burning desire and passion to go and do this other thing or this bigger thing or explore these opportunities, and I truly believe that there is that thing in every single person. If you want to do it, if you don't, absolutely fine. But so many people that I work with on this, it is because they want to go into this next step thing. And I would just hate for any of you to have that within you and that never get to see the light of day. You never get to have that impact, and the impact, obviously, not just on your life, but the impact on the people that you would go on to work with and teach and help and support, or, whatever that thing is for you. So this is why we work on this win-win-win basis, right, inside of Breakthrough. How can you get the best possible outcome for all three, for you, for your business, and for your client? Because it might be good for your client at the moment, i.e. they're absolutely freaking buzzing to get their hair done on a Sunday night before the hen weekend, but you feel like absolute shite, not a win for you. Or it might be good for your business in theory because you're fully booked for 6 months, but you are absolutely shattered and you're struggling to stay on top of everything. So that's not a win for you either. And when you're operating from this place of win-win-win, everything feels so much more aligned. So there's no resentment, there's no more dreading going to work on a morning. We aim for that really nice sweet spot in the middle, because when you're there and everyone's winning, you show up like a completely different person. You'll feel this energetically in your business. You'll even feel it in your personal life as well. You'll show up for your clients, but more importantly, you'll show up for yourself, which means you can then show up for your friends and your family as well. And you and everyone else deserves to get like the best you, right? You can't do this if you're constantly burning the candle at both ends. Trust me, you are bullshitting yourself and you deserve better. And this is said with like the utmost amount of love and respect. This is like a classic Maddi kick up the bum time, okay? And your clients deserve you at your best too. Like, your clients don't want to see you absolutely knackered, like you live in a hedge and that you haven't seen a glass of water in a decade. Like, they're not going to feel okay seeing you like that. Like, they're going to start to feel guilty as well on their end. It's not going to feel great for them, and it's not going to be good for business either, let's face it. So if this is you, right, if you are booked out, if you're overwhelmed, if you're burning out, if you're struggling to keep all your plates spinning, they're smashing all over the floor, it's absolute carnage and chaos, you're missing out on opportunities, you keep thinking, once I just get a little bit more time, everything will be better. If I just wait long enough, things will quieten down. Be real. How long have you been saying that for? If you dream of stepping out from behind the chair, or even just reducing the level of dependence on you physically in the business, I would love to work with you on this, but you probably at this moment feel so busy. The thing that you need is time. You can't work out, you can't like do more work to get out of this. You can't wait your way out of this and hope for the best. You can't pray your way out of this. Like, you need to get time, like your life freaking depends on it. But you have to get time back in a way that feels safe, that feels really financially secure, where your income is still very consistent and predictable. That's so important. What I don't want for you to do is just to drop a Saturday, spiral into a freaking panic because you've just lost a fifth of your income overnight, and your DMs are full of like crying faces because your clients can't get in and the guilt is like absolutely through the roof. And this is exactly what we do together inside a breakthrough. So we increase your profits, we minimize your losses, your leaks, your bottlenecks in your business. We tidy everything up. We go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. You can't fill someone else's cup from you if your pot is empty. So logical, but somehow hard to do. I get it. It is really hard to do. That's why I think we have to do the two things. We have to do the strategy, which is the doing, and then we have to do the identity work, which is the being. So many people just do the first bit and they don't do the second part, and I think that's why it stops. Or they try and do it alone, which is like incredibly difficult to do. And when we've done that, so when we've gone top to bottom, inside out through the business, tightened everything up, boosted profits, reduced losses, got rid of bottlenecks and things like that, when that is done, then you're ready to drop your day safely, sustainably, and in the knowledge that you will not be thrown into financial ruin. And I actually guarantee that you will drop a day. So I put my reputation on the line, right? If you show up, if you follow and implement what I teach you. And in fact, many previous breakthrough botters make even more now than they did before when they were working actually more hours, like the majority of them. Plus the income from their other things that they've been able to launch off the back of it as well, which is much more scalable income because it's no longer trading time for money one-to-one in a lot of cases. The breakthrough is based on application. Because I guarantee the outcome, I have to make sure that we're both a very good fit for each other. I have to make sure this is the right time for you, that this is the right program for you, that I'm the right coach for you, that you're coachable, that it fits into your world well. So we do have it by application form. It's super easy to fill out, super straightforward. Worst case, if it's not a good fit for you now, we can just pick up down the line. I knock back more people than we accept because we have limited numbers. But it'll be either a no or a not yet, and I'll always be honest with you. I don't want you in if it's not a good fit for you, because I guarantee it, right? So it's really important to have the right people in there. But the worst case is I'll say, I think this might be great for you. Next time round, here's a few steps and strategies to get you in a good position for them, okay? But there'll be no sort of pressure or anything like that. It's got to feel good on both sides, okay? So if this is you, send me a DM with the word busy and I'll send you a link to the info page. It's got the application form. We have very limited spaces left because we've already had people joining, and we start on the, let me get this right, the 14th. It's let me bring this up. I should know this. It's because I go away on the 14th. Yeah, sorry, we start on the 15th. So that's the beginning, and I will be closing enrollment on the 12th. So that's Friday the 12th. That's next Friday. I will either close it on Friday next week, or I will close it when we are full, whichever happens first. And in fact, it's always been full before we've actually closed officially. So if you're midway through an application, if we're kind of in that conversation at the moment and you are serious about joining, don't forget and please send us a message, okay? Because I want to make sure that you get your space. I don't want you to have to wait until the next time. Wonderful. If you've got any questions, just pop me a DM, but send a message with, oh, your birthday, how exciting. Aries. Will you be Aries? Yeah. We're the greatest. I love an Aries. So DM the word busy if this is you and you want to sustainably drop a day a week of client work without sacrificing your profits, ideally making even more money than you're making currently. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you as ever for your precious time. I will speak to you shortly. See you soon, bosses.